due to that implantation mechanic I just talked about. So a lot of times people will freak out and be like, "Oh my god, there's so many ads." Listen, just worry about the ads that come from usually the tank after the tank swap, and there's usually 5 to 8 of them. Okay, that's where you want to jump in. People sometimes get skittish and jump in when there's maybe 1 or 2 ads. The reason why this is also important is that when those ads are pacified, they can get cleared really quickly. The moment pheromones wear off, or if we don't have pheromones, then they're all going crazy, and they do actually quite a bit of damage. So the trick here is to make sure everybody helps out with the ads. But the trick for the person who got in the pheromones, try not to go in there twice. In veteran mode, it won't kill you. In master mode, it will. But it's also good practice to stay in your pheromones, because if you leave the pheromones, the ads go apeshit. So this cadence, tank pulls first, tank gets implanted up to about 8 stacks or so, maybe even 7. Those stacks will drop after the tank swap, because again, those stacks aren't getting refreshed. The person who's assigned to the pheromones jumps into the pheromones when you hear the eggs crack or you see the ads, and then we all help to burn down those ads as quickly as possible, and then we continue on the boss. So now, going back to the tank swap, tanks you swap after the jealous male comes out. The best example I can have for timing is when you see the jealous male, literally that's for tank swap. No need to do an AoE tank swap, just do a single target tank swap. And here's why. It's going to sound counterintuitive, and this is where I have Legacy V here. I can do that. It's going to sound counterintuitive. As a tank, I actually point inward into the middle of the room, and that's because the Writhing Horde does not have a conal unless you as a tank are far away from it. In addition to that, we want to place the jealous male underneath the Writhing Horde at all times. However, the jealous male has a kick. So when tanking this is what I recommend. Everybody see where the Writhing Horde is right now. I recommend that on the tank marker and the DPS marker are all the melee DPS, the tanks, both tanks by the way. When the jealous male comes out, let's say whichever tank is kiting the jealous male, the little thing, go off on the Writhing Horde's butt and try to face out its butt. Okay? Try to stack the jealous male inside of the Writhing Horde, but pointing outside. And here's why. It maximizes our DPS because our primary target is the Writhing Horde and spreading to the jealous male. A lot of groups out there will forget about this in master mode, and that's why they have a tough DPS check in master mode. So, just really good habits. And then from there on, healers, in terms of cleansing, feel free to communicate if somebody's standing on a flower and they need to get out of that before you cleanse them. But in veteran mode, it's a good idea to just cleanse the cleansable debuffs immediately. It'll drop a circle, they can be reflected, I think they can be rebounded, I think. And the idea here is that just get rid of that right away. For those who have the debuff, it's a good idea that you move off to the side, but it's not the end of the world if you happen to drop it wherever you're at. Again, just make sure that you're not on a flower. Flowers need to be... So that's kind of a long explanation, but I hope it gives a lot of the details for this fight.
So if I take Writhing first, I swap off of Writhing when the jealous male comes out, or did I
Yes.
misunderstand? Okay.
Yeah, if you let's say you get Writhing Horror first, then Jealous Male comes out, swap immediately to it, grab it, you'll most likely get kicked, but try to path toward the next position of the Writhing Horror.
Okay.
Try to stack it underneath. For consistency, Sinks or Jetta, do one of you have a preference as to which one wants to go first, or pull Writhing Horror first?
I think Jetta should.
Right. That's what I would suggest.
Any other questions, concerns?
Is raid wise at 10% or at the beginning?
10%.
All right. Pulling in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, somebody's on the flowers, guys. Move out of there.
Unfortunately, that was me.
There it is. Tank swap.
Got it.
And the pheromones should be out soon after the Jetta's eggs drop. Okay. So, Kintrus, can you go on the pheromone?
Jealous on me.
Okay, into the pheromones.
Oh.
And then good to come out.
So if it's on syncs, I actually recommend you facing a little bit more inward.
Okay.
So then the person with the jealous male can face out its butt. Because there's always a kick. If that kick faces the group, then we're all knocked back. Again, there are no tonals as long as you're within melee range.
And as soon as the puddle disappears for the pheromones, I can get
Oh yeah,
right
no,
out
no.
of
As soon as they're dead, just come back in and help
Okay.
out. Yep, good question. I apologize, I didn't really cover that.
No, you're good. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, jealous male again.
Alright. Got jealous.
Thank you for the cleanse. Charlemagne, you'll be up here. Go on the pheromones.
Come here, you little monkeys.
No.
What the hell? I was.
Got it.
Okay, I'm gonna screw up here for a minute and stand in the pheromones to get them.
I would not. You're only limited to one. They'll just ignore you. They're all dead, I think. Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're dead.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
that's.
you'll
I
see a
think we've
debuff
made a
up.
mistake.
Pop raid wides in 3, 2, 1.
Nice.
Raid wides, please. Raid wides. Another good trick here is to disperse a little bit. If you disperse, it means that the spawn, when they blow up, they won't do any AoEs as much. And they'll still do AoEs, it just disperses it. Okay. Hey, there you go.
What are we still in combat with?
Oh, it's an ad that's behind there. That it's been like that for years. It'll end here in a moment.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean that was just enough. I think we just had 2, right? We had 2 pheromones.
Yeah.
So it looked like it swapped at 4 stacks actually instead of 8. I know. Veteran
it was like 6.
Okay, weird. Well, the point is, when the tank swaps off, it's no longer accruing those implantation stacks, and when those stacks fall off naturally, then literally the count that you get comes up from. So, unfortunately, there's a lot of misconceptions about that mechanic, and I think everybody here really needs to know. It also explains why, if people are in, let's say they're pulling thread all the time, and they have like you have more ads out, it's because whoever had top threat got implanted, and then when that implant stack just expired, it actually dropped off, and then out came an ad. So, any questions on that fight?
Nope.
Congrats on the achievements.
Nope.
Cool. Let's keep going.
This is just.
Trollometer, are you able to? Okay, never mind. Looks like you're in Star Press now. I know I forgot to click the button, and I just got back in there.
We were teasing in group that you would remind us to get in.
Yeah, the vortex. Everybody should be stacking on or near the vortex. That way, it brings all the ads into the middle.
I'm coming. I just had to set up a timer.
Wait, timer for what?
I had to set up a timer for my corrosive grenade.
Oh, I see. It's 18 seconds.
I forget to like reapply my darts, so I have to have a timer for that.
So the primary target is the Vortex, the secondary target is the Savage, and that's because the Savage throws a 100% armor debuff from one of its debuffs. It's also a good idea to stack it onto the Beastmaster, and then just as much as possible, the we can stack all these ads, the faster they'll be. Good deal. Congrats on the deco there. Again, try to stack in as much as possible. Good deal.
I'm not gonna lie, like the irregularities, like their name has been. Those have been ruined by my last guild.
How so? I'm not sure.
They call them space vaginas.
Space hoo-haws! They're not the only ones that have the same 10-year-old brain thoughts.
That's a little older than 10 years old.
Oh, I'm 51, but my 10-year-old brain kicks in every so often.
I know a lot of guilds that call them that.
Very Georgia O'Keefe.
For shits and yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I actually never heard that, but I can see that.
Now she can't unsee it.
We'll go for the global here. Let's just make sure that for as much AoE heals as possible, everybody try to group in. And then that's on the tanks. Usually there's
Hey,
a
boss
drops
frog.
here.
Alright. Well, let's go.
Oh, there are connels on this one though. So I'd be careful with that. This one hurts. The unsuspecting amount of damage from that. So, Grand
They're
Sinks, looks
really-
like you got a black-purple Hawkeye crystal there.
Yep.
It's a shame more of these kind of side bosses don't have more crystals and things like that. I was going to recommend, before we jump into your, please burn the Enforcer first. The Enforcer is the thing that'll give us a percentage-based dot. And if we could take out the Enforcer first, we won't have a second application of that. There it is, Soft Cleanse.
I'm a sniper. I kind of have issues with that.
My bad. I pulled a little quick.
Just as long as we focus, again, there are priority targets in here, so going back to those who might not remember, I always go for healer, then the buffer, then the disruptor. That's basically a buffer, or rather well, it's something that has an AoE effect. By the way, there's really no need to hide behind here. I would just literally have everybody jump into the Enforcer and burn it, and bring the Reaver in here. Let's go. Yep. Not really any need to line of sight any of these. Just burn them and spread. The Reaver can be stunned as well, so that helps. Before jumping down, let's be very careful with this set. What we want to do is, from the top of the stairs, take a look at that Annihilator. What we're going to do is we're all going to stack on that Annihilator. Even those who are healers or ranged, try to get there as fast as possible. The Reaver can knock everybody back, so ideally we all just group up and stack him and smack him. So, on the tanks. Good deal. Look at all that fluff.
Lower object over here. Kind of shocked I never clicked on it on this guy before.
Dun dun dun.
For those who are curious, if you just take a left, not go down there, but if you take a look at that cave, that's the beginning
Like
of
a
the
tour
secret boss.
guide.
Yeah, right. You look to your left. Yeah, that's where you summon the dreadful entity. So, a cool secret boss progression in this game. So similar to before, what we want to do is stack up the Annihilator, but as far as our priority, it should be on the Enforcer up top. So I recommend tanks hold everything at the bottom of the stairs. When the Enforcer comes down, we burn it, prioritize it. Again, that has the percentage-based dot that goes out. So, yeah, whenever you guys are ready. Good.
How they scuttle about, these defenders of freedom, blindly denying the one true path before them.
They fancy
Okay.
themselves important and their lives meaningful.
Abandon your free will and avoid the agony of having
So
spoken.
this will be very much like story mode. My hope is everybody understands at a high level what we do in story mode, which is burn Hyride, then Cyphus, then Kelsara. When Hyride is bubbled by Cyphus, we need to burn Cyphus, and when Cyphus can be interrupted, he should be interrupted. Okay, your little interrupt ability will be visible and active when you're looking at Cyphus. Just as a reminder, when Hyride is bubbled by Cyphus, Hyride's damage coming to him will get reflected back to its target. So we do not want to just keep wailing on Hyride. A lot of people tunnel vision, and that's a problem. I recommend I'm going to move the frames around if you guys don't mind. Hopefully healers don't mind this. Basically putting back to rows. That's because we want to break up into, not going to say sides, but it'll be helpful for the tanks. So we want one tank to be in charge of Cyphus, another tank to be in charge of Kelsara. Who wants to do what?
I'll do Cyphus,
Okay, I'll do Kel.
unless you really want to.
No, I don't care.
Okay. So what you're going to do is up on the pole, you guys are going to basically just maybe go through half a rotation, not even, taunt, and then ignore your respective bosses, and that's because you should have enough passive threat to help out burn Hyride. It's going to sound weird, but we want you to be nearby in the middle for two reasons. One, it helps with any sort of healing, whether it's bouncy heals or puddle heals or whatever, AoE heals, just being around. And the second is that you two can help push Hyride as tanks. It might not seem like it, but if you do enough DPS, you're basically, both of you combined, is like adding to the DPS here. Pushing Hyride quickly is important. For everybody in here, Hyride is the keeper of the lightning. Hyride is the actual timer for when the lightning goes out. This is a different mechanic from story mode. So what you'll find is, eventually, all three of these will channel Lightning Field. But the other two are liars. They will have timers that, the cast times that look all the same, but they're really not. So what we want to do is actually look at Hyride to determine what your when you have to pop a defensive for Lightning Field. Lightning Field is a mechanic that forces us to spread apart. If you're near somebody else, it multiplies damage for each person you're near, right? Kind of makes sense. And so our breakdown is going to be like this. Let's have Hunter in the middle. She's on a sniper, so she's going to just kind of stay there the entire time right here. And then JItzel, if we can have you perhaps to the left, like so. Investa, if you can go to the right there, and then I'm going to. Obviously, all the other DPS go onto Hyrule. But what I'd like to do though is we have a Guardian, we have a Sentinel, and we have a Guardian. So I'd like to try this. Trollemain, can you just stay on Hyrule? Stay right there. And I'm gonna spec into my Blade Blitz. And just to have us split off by our frames, Pinterest, if you're also in Blade Blitz, if you have Blade Blitz, by the way, I do recommend specking into that. I'd like to have you Blade Blitz into the back left corner here, where I just put the DPS marker, and I'm going to Blade Blitz into the back right corner over here, where I just put the other DPS marker. Do you see those in the back near the exit? Cool. We just have to time those such that we are hopefully focusing on Hyrule, and when Hyrule's cast ends, that's when we Blade Blitz into those. I'm sorry, no. We want to be a little bit away, because if we start our Blade Blitz at Hyrule, then I believe Thorwin's going to go up in smoke. So, so we actually want to be
a lightning rod. That'd be great.
Jetta, what you want to do is be on the left side over here, like so, maybe like that. And then Sinks, if you're on Kalsara, you want to be like that. So these are pretty much our positions we want to be in for the lightning field. Any questions about that mechanic and where we have to be? Cool. What you're going to find is that tanks, you will have a tank swap. That's where, yeah, you're going to have a tank swap. I would recommend about 4 stacks you swap. However, there's an easier way to remember this. When Cyphus bubbles Hyrule, that is an excellent time to swap by taunting, the other's tank, the other's boss. However, what I recommend is you go back to your original after lightning field, taunt the one that you started with. So, for example, on the right side is Sinks. You're going to be taunting Kalsara after lightning field. Then Jetta, you're going to be taunting Cyphus after lightning field. You're going to do a swap after lightning Cyphus bubbles, and then you're going to, after lightning, taunt the original boss you were on. I highly recommend focus targeting the boss you are currently assigned on the poll. So first phase, it's all burning Hyrule as fast as possible. I'm sure we'll do that quickly. Second phase, we want to all stack up near where the bosses are right now. We want to make a clockwise position or clockwise movement around the room. Dodge every 6 seconds. I want to say every 6 seconds, a green circle will appear under somebody's foot or somebody's feet. It's going to be random. That green is important to make sure we put near the walls. The most important aspect about this is not to put green in the middle. That is a problem. So anyways, as we traverse around the room, slowly moving clockwise, we are dropping our circles behind us, and as a group, moving clockwise. Realize that Kalsara will do some conals. I think Cyphus does some conals too. So tanks should kind of lead this train. Any questions about that phase so far?
Nope.
Whoever gets doomed has to grab, I think it's 4? Throw themselves into 4 of those puddles to...
It's 3.
It's 3? I'm sorry. Why do I think 4? Anyways, 3 puddles, absorbing those green puddles if you have Doom to cleanse Doom. If you don't, then you'll die. I think you just get a massive amount of damage at the end. You don't want that. So just
do you want Transcendence?
If you want, it'll help out for the defense component for the tanks, so might as well. You can use that on cooldown, basically, in this fight. And then near the end, then we have a fairly fancy tank swap mechanic for Kalsara. When Kalsara is by herself, it starts the 3rd phase. Whoever has threat on Kalsara going into that phase will receive Leech. Force Leech, or whatever it's called. What that mechanic is if you get heals, anything that you heal, whether it's a self heal, a temporary heal, a med pack, doesn't matter, or even a sage bubble healing you after it pops, it'll actually do damage to you. So that needs to initiate the tank swap immediately, and that tank needs to run far away enough that no bouncy heals get to you, no puddles get to you. You don't do anything. It is possible if I look at your specs really quick. So from a Juggernaut, you can Blade Blitz through that, and it'll help. You can actually Saber Reflect that too. So I tend to spec into a Saber Reflect here as a tank, because what you can do is Saber Reflect, and then in the meantime click off your HOTS if you have it. As a reminder, the mechanic is correctly working where any HOTS on the tank as it starts get removed. Be very clear, any HOTS on the tank get removed upon the application of Leech, but any HOTS that are refreshed or re-added, obviously, that's a problem. So just nobody needs to be like, oh, no HOTS, no HOTS. No, it doesn't work like that. I will say, however, that as far as Sage and Sorks, well, we don't have any here, but their bubbles actually don't meet that. If they get healed from a bubble, then they actually do take damage. So that's a side conversation, I think. And then what happens is she does a green beam towards somebody. Do not do any tank swaps during this time. Do not do any taunts this time. It is possible to kind of screw things up, because as soon as the green beam ends, whoever she was targeting before, whoever was her prior threat, will get Leech. So it's going to be extremely critical that tanks communicate who's getting Leech after Green Beam every time. It should always be the tank who had threat as she went into Green Beam. And then we go on and keep doing tank swaps on the Leech. Again, only tank swap on the Leech. Any questions?
What does the leech debuff look like?
It's purple. It's like a force pull.
Okay.
Okay, let's try it out. And I promise these are more. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
Pulling in 3, 2, 1.
Those who will not serve will die. We are the chosen.
The bosses have funnels, so try to face them out while you're trying to DPS high risk.
Struggle only prolongs the pain.
Surging, burn Cypher. There it is, back in. Get ready to go to your respective corners.
The master's command.
There it is.
The force obeys.
Okay, get ready.
Oh my god.
Here it is. And back on high road. High road's about to go down. Let's all stack up. And burn Cyphus. Cyphus got to 100% HP, as intended. Okay, watch your feet. Let's go clockwise. Let's move clockwise around the room. And watch your feet.
The masters guide us.
Watch your feet. Move.
Remain blind.
Interrupt the strangle. I apologize. That's another mechanic. Keep moving. And then as soon as there's nothing there, just stop. Don't need to keep moving. Do not need to keep moving. So, yeah. Keep moving now. We just want to move when there's a puddle. That's it. Try not to go into the puddles. Move again.
The masters guide us, while you remain blind.
Got 11 stacks of
Yep,
pulverized.
you guys might want to swap.
Yeah, we should probably swap.
Yep. Okay, swap.
Watch your feet.
No, this is much gentler.
Well, if your feet ever.
Guide us, while you remain blind. welcome death before
Charlemagne,
the
you're
end.
doomed. Might want to go grab some of those. Move your feet, everybody. Move your feet again.
Ooh, watch that.
We're about to swap.
The masters guide us,
Who's gonna have lead?
while you remain blind.
I have Kelsara.
Okay, we can probably swap soon.
Yeah.
Leech.
I have Leech, so you should take her.
Yep,
You should
got her.
take her.
Your destiny
Any heals
is
to get to
fulfilled.
tell you?
Got it.
We're gonna have green beams soon. There will be ads popping up near the middle sometime soon.
You are many,
Good
but
guard.
we are one.
So there's
We
Legion
are
are
more
channeling some.
forgiving than
Make sure we burn this one
Force
first.
Leech on me. Swap, swap, swap. Okay. Ouch. Got a hot.
Try to click it off or run away.
I did. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. I'm good.
Run away. Run away. Run away.
Run, run,
Run!
run.
Infesta, run!
One of us.
Oh,
You are many,
Force Leech.
but we are
Swap.
one.
got her.
Don't heal me, don't heal me.
Legionnaires.
The masters
Yeah.
foresaw your demise.
Well,
You have hots?
no, I'm extra stupid. I walked
Green
into an
beam.
AoE heal.
Oh.
I believe in you guys.
We are more forgiving
I'll
than
taunt it.
the masters.
Oh, God. Okay.
I got it. Yep.
You are many.
Well, that
but
ain't
we
as
are
bad as
one.
popping your like focus defense on
Oh
that.
yeah, no, I was doing good about that.
Almost off. Okay, we're good.
I'm going to have Leech here soon, so no heals on Iggy in a moment.
Your destiny is
Oh, no.
fulfilled.
Ooh.
Oh,
It's on me
fixed.
again.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you taunt her?
Yeah, I retaunted.
Okay. That's what
Sorry, I
found.
didn't say that.
Burn, burn, burn.
You can get it.
Purpose has been served.
From failure, we learn, right?
I could have
Yep.
played that a lot better.
So just as a few points of now that we kind of saw what the new mechanics, good job on separating out for lightning. Definitely things that can help with that, or like blade blitz, resilience. All those things can actually mitigate lightning altogether. We also want to make sure that when we stack, there's a lot of people. Maybe it's just again just inexperience, or maybe just used to how story mode goes. Story mode could be a complete shit show because, you know, you can usually burn her before dooms really make any difference. But in here, we do want to make sure that we, as a group, kind of run around clockwise. Let's say a circle drops right here, well, then we just need to move a little bit. All right, ideally, we see a full line of circles tightly packed along the wall over here. And as we go about our business this way, whoever has doom just kind of goes backwards and you know, jumps in those circles and are saved.
A
The
more
reason why
conga line fashion.
exactly, and the reason why we also want to keep them away from the middle is that when those legionnaires come out or the boss is around doing green beam, the last thing we need is to add even more pressure to healers by getting into those green circles. So the green circle is also a weak dot, and it's not nice, right? It just adds more stress to everything. And also the green beam. Yep, if you see the green beam on you, run away. And then also leech to be more predictable. Just keep communicating, right? Like, hey, Sync says, hey, Sync is going to get it next because you know you had top threat before. Not even just top threat, you had threat prior to green beam. So right after green beam, it's going to go right to you. The reason why I word it like this is that there is a possibility that you can taunt in between green beam ending and the leech, and although it's a bad habit, it is one reason why you could have somebody say, whoops, it was on somebody else, and then they got healed when they died. So, any other questions? Congrats on that, everybody. Make sure everybody burns the data core here. On tanks whenever they're ready. Inhibitor next. The inhibitor will inhibit us from killing the other ads. Puts the shield on. Okay. Yep, everyone on the core. Oh, Trollman, you're getting hit there. So that atomic tear, I believe that's a debuff that increases your damage taken. So tanks, AoE stuns are great for that next round. Before we jump in there, please, can we take 2 seconds? I want to. Oh, I guess not. Okay. I'm gonna recommend tanks actually get all the ads about DPS. Mind your own business. Get the cores. Don't engage the. Everybody who's DPS should be on the cores, and then tanks go onto that tank marker there and try to grab all the ads in the room. We have 2 cores to clear. Try not to stand in front of those data core faces. They are throwing lightning out. They do hurt. Oh. Let's get all the ads.
My session lagged up and I couldn't scoot to adjust.
Get the inhibitors. The inhibitor is what's preventing us from killing everything. Inhibitors put a buff on everything. Okay. Before we go, I just wanted to help out and show what I was trying to do. So let's say as a tank, you always have to be worried about clonals, right? There's tons of clonals from ads in here. So what I'd like to do is actually just on this pillar here, grab all these ads and face them toward the pillar. It prevents any DPS or even healers going behind me. Healers can usually kind of flow, like, I don't know, right there, and then eventually come on over here to help out. But yeah, grouping all the ads over here on this pillar is pretty much a good idea. Some groups out there try to like line of sight or do other weird things. It's not really necessary. It's really coming down to make sure nobody's in lightning. And again, the lightning come from the 4 faces of each of those cubes, the data cubes, and just burn it down and just keep moving. the cubes will constantly spawn new ads, so that's why they're the priority for DPS. But the reason why tanks should be off on their own, helping each other out, AoE stunning, whatever, again, there's just a lot of conals out, and it can be very quick that, bam, 1, 2, 3, 4 conals, and then a DPS dies. It's just really annoying. In here, give us one moment. Let's try to reorganize this here. Give me one moment, please.
See who clicks panels and who stays in the middle.
Yep, one moment. Yep.
What Skittle color do we get to be today?
Yep, just wait, just wait.
Abnormal species immigrant. Operator restriction beyond this field.
I think that worked. Okay, let's try this.
Left vertical column does what? Right vertical column does what?
Yep. So what we have here are the tanks and healers in the left column, and then the DPS are on the right column. Every time there's a color, we want the DPS column and the right column go into the middle because we want to be useful. Really, it's that simple. Okay, you're going to help out DPS in some way. In the left column, when it's your color, you're going to be channeling. This is usually a challenge on the DPS because not only do we have to kill one core, but the other core on the other side of the room and do it in a timely manner. Unlike story mode, there's also a different challenge here for the tanks in the middle. We have a regulator coming out, and these regulators will hurt quite a bit. So that's where phases 2 and 4, or orange and yellow respectively, tanks, you will need to coordinate which tank interrupts first and which tank interrupts second. There's a bit of a dance to this. And if you can get this down, it makes Op9 one-shottable moving forward. This is, I think, one of the more critical aspects of tanking in this fight is this first phase here. So what we're going to see is, let's say blue phase, let's say we initiate, and if everybody takes a look at that thing in the middle, that's master control. That is a glorified timer in the first half of this fight. It's going to count down. Unlike story mode, where you get a flat like 80 or 70 seconds per phase, in here it gets shorter every phase, such that yellow phase needs to be done quicker than, say, blue phase. But when we pull, we're going to clear all the ads, and then we're going to have Jetta on the console, and then Kintras in the middle to help out. What that's going to do is drop the shields, and then help people. Tanks, you have two main responsibilities here. One, you're going to float in the east practically the entire time. When able, sometimes you're in the middle, or sometimes you're channeling, which is understandable. But when you're able to help make sure none of the ads go to the channelers. Unlike story mode, in veteran mode, the threat generation is far higher on the on those panel channelers. So you really need to make sure you're either AoE taunting or doing a hard stun on them to make sure they are not getting to those panels. If the panels are interrupted, if you're on panel duty, the best thing you can do is just keep channeling the panel. Or if you know nobody's around there, just do a hard stun, knock them back, do something, and keep channeling the panel as soon as you can. In orange phase, we transition. Then Investa will be in the middle. I'm sorry, channeling. I'm sorry, Vista's channeling.
Yep.
And then I'm going to help out as DPS in the middle. Two regulators are going to come out. Two regulators come out. The first regulator comes out. It's going to do a knockback, which can be interrupted. That's what we want Jetta to interrupt first. Okay? I'm sorry. Let me think. I got that backwards. Sinks. We're going to need you to grab that first. And there's a reason why, because of the timing and when we transition from purple to yellow, actually. And actually, orange to purple transition. This is why we're having this assignment. So, Sinks, if you can grab the regulator that spawns at the east and bring it to the middle for me to kill during orange phase, okay? Mm-hmm. You're going to interrupt it. Maybe when you're pulling it back, whatever, you interrupt it, and then the next interrupt is going to be on Jetta. Jetta, after the first interrupt occurs, even if he didn't get it, maybe he missed, whatever, you're going to taunt that same regulator. and it's going to go through this sort of conveyor line, where Sinks grabs first, interrupts first, then Jetta, you're going to taunt and interrupt the second one, and by that time, if it's in the middle, I shall have killed that regulator. The second regulator comes out, we're going to do the exact same thing. On the second regulator, Sinks, you're going to taunt and pull it back into the middle with an interrupt when you see that only channel. And then after that interrupt, whether or not it goes off or it gets interrupted, Jetta, you're going to taunt, hold it in the middle, and then interrupt the next channel. Again, going through this conveyor line here. The same thing is going to happen for purple phase. Purple phase will have another pair of regulators. The first time Sinks, you're going to get it. Then Jetta, you're going to get it. Second time Sinks, you're going to get it. Then Jetta, you're going to get it. And it's very well possible that no, I'm sorry, that was on yellow phase. I apologize. Purple phase, we go into purple phase after orange. Sinks, you do your thing. Sorry. Then in yellow, it's the same thing. Sinks, you get it first. Jetta, you get it second. Sinks, you get it first on the second ad, and then Jetta, you get it second on the second ad.
And the regulator will spawn over here-ish.
Always on the east.
Yeah.
Yep, it'll always be on the east.
Or that's the other side.
Yep, correct, the other side.
Okay.
For those who are in here for the first time, there are orbs. Orbs can be taunted, they could be stunned, they could be interrupted. They can also be erroneously grabbed. If you are touching an orb that is not your color, you will get stunned until either it dies or you die. So at all times, make sure you control your AoEs, control your conals, and if you accidentally hit somebody else's, make sure you call it out. Everybody needs to have a shield from those little orbs flowing around, okay? Those shields will help you in the next phase, which is called color deletion. So in this first phase here, you can get your orbs as soon as possible if you're blue or orange, but if you are purple or yellow, I recommend waiting until after your phase to grab your orbs floating around. Again, these orbs can die, they're yellow, they're considered neutral enemies, or they're considered neutral in here. Make sure we do not accidentally grab them and kill them, otherwise somebody doesn't get their shield. This is going to be important later on in the color deletion. But before I go on to that, are there any questions about what I just went over so far? The fact that we go to each left column channels, right columns in the middle, and then tanks have to do their special dance in the middle. Okay. Color deletion. I think I have a really good explanation of this right now. When the boss calls a name and a color, okay, the shields drop, and Operator 9 calls a name and a color, the person who is named is absolutely going to die regardless of their position in this entire map. Except if a person with the color that was called and they have that little shield on them, that little shield buff, touches the person who's going to die and transfers that shield. Okay. What I'm really trying to say is that there's nothing special about the middle of the room. A lot of people see in fights like this, they're like, oh, there must be something special. No, it's just that it's equidistant and it's easy to get to. So, if a name and a color is called, if your name was called by the boss's system message, go in the very middle of the room and stay there. The person whose color was called, you will also go to the middle, and we will have a priority order for that. The first people we want to run to the middle are the left column folks, the healers and the tanks. The second are the DPS. So for example, let's say Investa and I both have an orange shield on us. And let's say then it says Torlemagne and orange. Torlemagne is going to run to the very middle of the room, and then Investa, she's going to run also to the middle of the room, touch Torlemagne there, transfer her shield to him, and when he gets the one-shot mechanic, he won't die. Okay, here's something else to remember. If there is no color available, if there is no shield to pass, that person who is named will die, and it's an AoE. So that person who has is named, still go to the middle, still don't go near anybody else, and die by yourself, and you can get rezzed. If you run with the whole group in panic mode, that's how we all wipe very quickly. It's kind of funny. Third point here. If you have a name that matches the color, let's say the name matches the color called, let's say it was Sinks and purple, and Sinks has a purple shield, he does not need to have anybody else come in and save him. However, he should still go to the middle, because anytime the person whose name runs over other colors that aren't that color, they'll get absorbed. They'll actually get taken. This is the logical reason why we cannot just simply all stack in the middle and stay stacked the entire fight, or during the second phase. That's because the first time the name is called, anybody who walks near the name will also get their shields taken, regardless if it's the correct or incorrect shield. So this is another reason why this entire time we need to disperse. We need to make sure that we are not stacking on each other. And I recommend, for those who look in the middle here, you'll see that there are little circles. There's 10 little circles surrounding by a big circle. I recommend standing in the cleavage between the little circles and the big circle, right where I put that DPS marker. Stay in between there. This is because when we get into, let's say you want to go to master mode, touching a wrong circle will kill you. That's one. But also, even in veteran mode, it makes sense for us to be somewhat spread apart, so that nobody gets their shields taken erroneously by just by virtue of stacking with the person who's named. Another point here is that there are 2 ads, and you know what? A lot of people overlook these, and they look really easy. They look really dumb. Their entire purpose is to disrupt us by knocking us in or out of circles, or in or out of other people's way, or in or out of the person who's named. We need to prioritize those ads as fast as possible. AoE taunts help, single taunts help, stuns help, interrupts help. Grouping them helps even more, and prioritizing as DPS is the best thing we can do. So those ads are a priority, and it doesn't seem like they're going to do much, but if they knock us into the wrong things or prevent us from getting to a circle, that's bad. Just like story mode, run into at least 2 circles with your color in order for us to delete those colors on the ground, and be able to get to the next phase. So a quick recap of this whole thing. Named person and the left column first go into the middle, right column go in second. Let's try to communicate. I'll try to call out who has or who doesn't have shields, so that we know who might be up next for certain colors. Any questions?
So in the first phase, as far as like getting that shield, if we see one of those orbs of our color, we should go like near it to be friends to pick it up, or
Blue and orange first, right?
Blue is first, so on the pole, go to your orb. I would recommend Jetta, you peel left, and Margin, you peel right. The orbs will always spawn in the north and south ends. They'll move after that, but they will always spawn in the north and south ends. You have to click on them, you have to attack them, and you have to kill them. You have to deliver the killing blow in order to get that shield on you in this first phase.
I see.
Yep. Little bit of a tactic I might as well point out right now. When you, as a tank, have, let's say, sinks, I do this for all the time. You're purple, you channel. Let's say you have an orb floating near you. You can actually just outright hit it or taunt it with like a force pull, saber throw, something like that, and just keep channeling right there. Like, you break channel for half a second, but you rechannel, and what you gain in that is controlling that orb that comes near you instead of it floating to like the DPS or something.
Yep.
To my knowledge, there are no other cleanses in here. It's just healers need to float in the middle when you don't have a role assigned, and just help on any groups that crisscross. It's very tempting for healers to go chase down tank or chase down the DPS on each core. Don't do that. Stay near the middle. The tanks will need you. The groups in the middle will need you. And besides, the DPS will run through the middle to get to the other side in order to kill the other core. So, any other questions?
I'll pop Transcendence to help move to the core.
Perfect.
All right, do we just like go and collect this trash first?
Yep.
Infestation decried. System anomaly initiated.
Blue spheres are out.
Am I blind?
What the hell? Nope, there's one over on the north side.
Oh, I see it.
Yep. We can take our time with this first set. Yeah, this is a fight that we do well, not fast.
Okay.
So there's some little recognizers out. So tanks, as soon as we start, keep your eye to the east, and I believe Jetta is channeling, and Mara Jade is in the middle.
Where's
So
the? There it is.
Yep.
Okay.
Here we go.
Unexpected activation sequence initiated. Diagnosing yellow nonagon.
Next phase. I'm in the middle. Vista's channeling. Everybody do your thing. Stop staying in the middle, guys. Go do your thing. Get to the core. Tanks are up there.
First regulator.
Bring it to the middle, otherwise I can't do much. I can't DPS it if it's not. Second one's coming out soon. Sinks, be ready for that.
Yep.
Safety fail safes. Green nonagon. Gray concave. Now probable result.
Stunned.
I gotta get the orange.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. I can't see this. Oh.
Oh, Iggy, I found your orange sphere.
Yep, I gotta get it later though. We have 10 seconds. Purple phase. Oh, we click again, click again, click again.
Oh,
Nope. Nope.
Yeah, recognizers on me.
Yep. Go to the middle. Burn the
There's a
rectifier.
regulator coming. Regulator
There's
coming.
This is called a rectifier. This is gonna hurt.
I need this recognizer off me.
You know, you need to help with this rectifier. Yep, drop what you're doing and just help out the rectifier. Now we go and do what we have to. Okay, channel again.
System purge.
Okay, yellow.
Purge. System purge.
I have someone's orange shield.
I'm trying to find a purple sheet.
Stop concerning yourself with the oak. We need to get on the cores, and cores need to be prior. Worry about those other ones. Worry about the orbs later. We have 10 seconds to burn this core. Good. Get your orbs as needed.
Major issue, we have no purple orbs, and both of us did not get them.
Yeah, we'll just have to play it up. Disperse, everybody. Get to your, what am I, orange? Yep. Disperse. Make sure we disperse. Ooh.
Ooh.
I don't know if we got a color. I wonder if one was missed.
There's
Yeah.
orange.
Oh, that was orange? Okay. Well, that was partly my fault there, too.
Also my fault.
Okay. Well, we learned a lot, I hope. So yeah, any questions? Let's take the speeder. It's okay to fail if we learn from it, right?
Yep. Sometimes we got to see the complicated dance a couple of times.
Witness the potential of perfection.
I like it.
That one was not strong enough. Will you survive?
Any questions though?
Nope.
Are there time limits on the orbs when we can get to them, or
No.
we just
Nope.
As long as nobody kills them, they'll be up the entire time. But we do have a time limit for those cores, and that's why they're the priority.
Yeah. So they do respond to AoE taunt. Just be
Yeah.
aware of that.
Tanks, make sure that you are always trying to pull those regulators into the middle. And that's because then the DPS, like me, I'm melee, right? I can't really be useful unless I can hit them. In addition, why we dropped everything for the rectifier. The rectifier will only come out if we fail a core phase. The rectifier hurts like hell, and it's extremely important that that's faced away. We all drop what we're doing. We all nuke the rectifier, and then we go back to our regular roles and responsibilities. Okay, it is there deliberately as a hey, screw you, you you failed a phase. We're gonna throw something nasty at you. Ideally, we don't see the rectifier. And then yeah, just make sure that like I know I saw that the orange orb flying around. I did end up getting mine. I think I got one of mine. Yeah, I did. But yeah, there's no need to panic and like, oh my god, I didn't get my orb. Obviously, try to get it if you can. The best time for DPS to get it is when they're traversing through the middle. You're going from one side to the other side. Try to find your orb. If you don't, and it's not along the way, whatever, there'll be another chance, right? Especially when you're locating those cords. Another tip: when we transition into the second phase after yellow, make sure that a tank grabs the boss. It's very common that somebody gets one shot from this. Unfortunately. Ready, check, please.
All right. Was a clean movie check, so let's go murder these tiny robots.
Infestation declared. Blue bisection of system anomaly initiated.
Now come back. Blue, get in the middle.
Hold on, we still have an ad.
You're gonna go through about 3.
Well, it's already started now, so.
Oh, okay, we have to go.
Yep.
Yep, the first timer doesn't start until the first channel occurs.
I see. My bad.
It's okay. Well, hey, we're learning.
have a friend.
Click it again. Yep, tanks in the middle are playing a constant game of keep away. Next phase, I'm in the middle. Good deal. Ads coming up. Ads coming out. East, regulator.
Watch that orange sphere.
Second regulator coming out.
Ditto, you got that?
Safety fail safes.
Purple.
Next phase.
Gray concave, now probable result.
Keep channeling.
Yep. Yep.
$20 seconds. Keep channeling.
Oh my god.
There.
Okay. That was lucky. Got the first regulator.
I got that first interrupt.
Things, do you have the interrupt on this regulator?
Yep.
I can get the next one on this, actually.
Clear. Get your orbs if you haven't. Looks like there's a yellow or two around.
There's a purple as well.
Ooh.
Whoa.
I got him.
Got it. Never mind.
Operator response timed out. Please repeat.
You have to stay
Blue,
about a
orange.
second on each. Yep.
Good.
Disperse.
Hyperwave resonance approaching yellow scaling.
Tricoli blue.
Hyperwave
That's Shadow.
approaching.
There's way too many people in the middle. Way too many
Oh,
people.
stood on Takali in the middle.
Okay, we're clear. We're already clear. Yep.
Iggy, you might want to pick up your shield.
Is there actually?
Yes, there's an orange sphere.
Oh, I don't see it.
Yeah, it's just
Well,
on the outside.
Hyperwave resonance approaching yellow scaling. Adjusting.
Marjade yellow. JItzel Marjade. Ouch. Could somebody mark it really quick and I'll try to AoE it? I don't know if it's possible.
It has a nice big fire.
Yeah, it's a bug. Okay.
Or Lemming, your
figured it.
sphere is still out.
Timed out. Please repeat.
Disperse here, please.
Request help me. Invalid query.
Marjade.
Submit.
JItzel again can go in. Because you didn't get yours
In the middle, right?
Crap.
You didn't go in the middle.
I didn't get in fast enough. I wonder why I'm getting a yellow one when I'm blue.
It
It's
doesn't
random.
match your color. It's random.
Oh, okay.
Orange.
Trick is if a name and a color is called, the color needs to go in purple. That's gonna be a Sphinx. Sphinx goes in the middle as well.
Someone.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't hear the color. It cut out.
You're good.
Uh,
Definitely not gonna get an
Orange, no oranges, so yep, that's white.
so I'm going to recommend that everybody take a look at your UI and find system messages. And I recommend putting system messages smack dab in the very middle of your screen and making it somewhat large. System messages are what usually bosses call out. Usually those are the really critical mechanics. So, what I'll try to do then, instead of trying to call out in the heat of the moment, what I'm going to try to do between those phases is call out who has next. So, for example, if you don't use your shield, right now, do you guys see the shields on a few people here?
Thanks, Torlamine and Hunter.
Yeah. Yeah, those little shield-looking things, those little bubbles, they are what we need to make sure go on to the person whose name is called. Again, that person's name is called is going to die unless a color saves them. So,
Oh, so does it transfer automatically? We have to be in the middle and then click on the our bubble.
No, you just need to be. You need to touch the person whose name is called in order to save them with your bubble. We're just using the middle as an easy location to do that. There's
So you
nothing
can
special
just run
about the
through.
middle.
And when you say the
Sorry,
middle,
you can just run through them to transfer it.
You want to stay there in case for whatever reason it's late, or you know how the game works, right? Might be late by half a second. Then yeah, you just want to run to the middle. If your name is called, run to the middle. If your color is called, run to the middle. Left column's going first. Right column is going second. Again, when I say first and second, that's with respect to the colors. So, you know, in the instance of, let's say it's orange again, Investa, you know, if it's you, you have a bubble, or rather you have a shield on you, transfer it to the person first, and then I'll transfer it second. But it's absolutely critical that everybody take a look at the system messages, because if anybody here is relying on an audio call, that's already going to be too late. A lot of times it will be too late. So,
when you're talking in the middle, you're basically just right underneath the boss.
the very middle of the room, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Because this is good.
Oof. All right. Pulling in 3, 2, 1.
Aberrant infestation declined. Blue bisection of system anomaly initiated.
Blue team, grab your orbs. Or spheres, rather. Blue spheres.
I got mine.
Kintrus, did you find yours? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Good deal.
Got mine.
Now that we're done, we can proceed to the clicking.
Okay, I'll stand in the middle.
DPS to shields.
Hyperwave interface valuation. Blue scalene.
Orange.
Got it?
I got the regulator. Bring him in. So I'm
Need to go
not
forward.
stunned.
Yep. Need to
Oh,
interrupt that.
Yeah, that end of line cast is what you should be
Yeah.
interrupting.
I didn't see that time.
The other one's coming.
Safety fail-safes. Green nonagon. Gray concave.
Next
No
one.
probable result.
I'm not able to hit that one.
Oh.
Oh, I think that's a bug. Investa, when you have a moment, obviously your orb is still up. Oh, that's a bug. I can't touch that.
System purge.
Last phase.
System purge. System purge.
I'm not seeing an orange one.
Oh
It's
crap!
flying
Might be bug.
around right out here by me. There's a
After
blue one.
Regulator's back.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll prioritize it later.
I'm gonna need another interrupt. Okay.
Investa, do you see it now?
No, and it's kind of driving me nuts.
Okay, I hit it with my attack, so it's actually an enemy now. So I'm afraid if it's bugged out for you, then you can't really do anything about it. Like a boss?
Regulator. Oh my lord. I can't do that. Yep.
Operator response.
Looks like boss is on me.
Please repeat.
Disperse. Watch for a name and a color. Looks like I'm up on orange.
Resonance approaching yellow scaling.
It's blue. Jetta?
Yep.
Approaching.
Good deal. You successfully did that. So disperse from the middle and keep it up. Sinks has boss. Ads are prioritizing.
Or not.
Ouch.
Jesus.
Operator response timed out.
Please repeat. I feel anomalous.
Requesting purple bisector.
Myself in purple.
Where am I?
Thanks.
Got him.
Good.
We just wasted 2. So.
Oh shit.
Nope.
Operator response timed out.
Please repeat.
Get the ads. Get the ads. We can also stop. Okay. Purple. And purple spot.
Yeah,
Invader.
no.
Get away, get
It
away,
ain't
get away.
happening.
No. Charlemagne, you didn't have a shield on.
Yeah, we wasted the 2 with the first one.
She was destined to die.
We were both in there.
Operator response timed out.
Please repeat.
Request help me. Invalid query.
Mm.
Resubmit.
What?
Yep. He'll sometimes go to somebody else. Usually it's a good idea to taunt after the shield goes down, but
I see.
that can be kind of tricky sometimes. It is possible to clear this, but it'll be kind of tricky.
Operator response timed out.
Please repeat.
Hyperwave
Resonance approaching yellow scaling.
adjusting. Hyperwave
Resonance approaching.
I'll take boss, Jetta.
Operator response timed out.
Please repeat.
Jetta yellow. Oh, it's gonna be just. Good. So the only colors we have left are myself and Mara J for orange and blue respectively.
Operator response.
So just hope that it's orange or blue.
And if not, somebody's gonna die.
I feel anomalous.
Requesting purple bisector.
Oh shit.
Nope. It's orange.
Oh, actually, it's fine. Never mind.
Yep.
I don't remember. Does this boss have an enrage?
It's fairly long, I thought.
I believe.
Please repeat.
No. There we go.
Hyperwave resonance approaching yellow scaling.
Adjusting. Hyperwave.
I'll get boss.
Approaching.
Take boss. Thank you.
Operator response timed out.
Please repeat.
Yellow.
Hyperwave resonance approaching yellow scaling.
Adjusting.
JItzel blue.
Hyperwave
Resonance approaching.
You can leave them on me.
Okay.
Operator response timed out.
Please repeat. Hyperwave resonance approaching yellow scaling.
Adjusting. Hyperwave
Resonance approaching.
system failure.
I guess somebody hoped hard enough.
So there's a little trick here, and I was kind of curious if we were going to see it. We actually saw it a few times. If a tank taunts at the end of that shield at just the right time, it's possible to get what's called disinfection. It's a carryover from before this was actually released. So what that does is it actually removes the shield of the tank performing it, but it also prevents any color deletion from occurring. It's a bit of a trick, but it can be used in moments like that where you really pray to God that there's pray to God there's no more impossible combinations. Again, just to go through the mechanic one more time, the person named is going to die unless the person's color comes to save them. We want to go from left column to right column, and then make sure that we are not stacked at any time during that phase, because otherwise either all of our shields are going to get ripped off of us, or if for whatever reason the shield doesn't even exist, we all die because that kill target is an AoE. Any questions?
No.
That was pretty crazy on that final phase, but it makes more sense seeing it a few times.
Yes. Well, there's a lot of value for, wiping and trying it again. If we would have just cleared that once, I don't know if everybody would have gotten as much out of that as possible. I mean, this is the fight that usually stops a lot of pugs because they don't really know how to explain that well or call out things correctly. Are there any questions though from that fight?
It's better to call out for shields, then so that way we don't do like a double waste on our purple phase.
Yeah.
More space hoo-ha.
Let's keep going. That's also a function of buff and debuff sizes too. If your buff or debuff sizes are way too small, then it's possible you miss that. I recommend carefully getting this next group of ads. Just like how we did the one group of ads where you take out the big ones. I recommend tanks pull out the big ones as well. Let the DPS burn the vortex. Let's recover here. We're not all recovered yet.
Oh, you got the wings, Iggy.
Mm-hmm.
He's had the wings for a while.
I haven't seen them. Before or after 20 pulls?
I don't know. I lost count.
Our favorite bad penny that keeps showing up. Kind of like a soap opera villain.
Come closer.
Anybody doesn't have the lower object directly behind it.
Are you strong enough?
Sorry. Admittedly, I took a bite of dinner that I was given not that long ago. So, what we have here, as far as Kefis is concerned, unlike story mode where it's a bore fest for half the fight, there's actually more to do here, and I think I can summarize this fairly quickly. When we pull, Kefis is going to have an energy surge from his head to one of these poles. In fact, he's actually going to be getting power from these poles. Tanks, you need to be bringing Kefis near the pole, okay? Pole 1 can be considered this in the tank marker. Pole 2 is, pole 3 is the deep, and pole 4 is near the healing marker. So we can look at it like a clockwise sort of thing. I don't really go by clock because it could be kind of confusing, and yeah, there's a gate over there that turns on. Anyway, when the time has come, a random name is called, again going back to those system messages, that person must stand between Kefis and the pillar. Why? The pillar is powering up Kefis. Kefis is going to do some nasty morning breath, and that morning breath is going to go on the target. If the target, which is maybe, let's say it's Torloin, if that target needs to be pointing to the pillar, there is a feedback loop that occurs, and it basically burns the boss. It knocks him down. So what we actually want to do is take advantage of this by popping raid wides as soon as the breath comes out. We pop raid wides. Why? Because every stack, he's going to get a stack every time a second passes of him throwing his own breath at the pillar that's powering him, and it increases his damage taken by 50% for a total of 200%. By popping raid wides, we make up a lot of DPS, and we really push hard on Kefis. Okay? That's the first time he does his breath. In addition, when we pull, there will be, soon thereafter, there'll be orbs out here. Orbs are very nasty. Orbs are like a ball and chain. Okay? When you are the nearest person to an orb, the orb will attach itself to you, and you need to kill it in order to get rid of it. Otherwise, it'll keep growing in power and keep zapping you for even more and more and more, eventually killing you. That's a Doom mechanic here in veteran mode. There's two ways to get rid of it. One, you kill it, which is what I just explained. But the other way, a little bit more tricky, is if it's on a tank, and let's say that tank goes into that giant electric field that you might recall from story mode, right? You get the kind of like the zoom buff, and you need to run into that as a tank. Well, if you also have an orb as a tank and you run into that giant electric field, thereby getting rid of it, you can actually destroy the orb. So it's a nice to have, but not a need to have for tanks to also grab orbs when able. This is not a threat mechanic. This is a proximity mechanic. So because of that, we also advise healers to stay away from the middle. The orbs can spawn in the somewhat like these positions over here. You want to stay away from these healer markers. So on the pole, I think we can all just kind of go off to the side here. As far as melee DPS, and especially ranged, I do recommend being closest to them by pulling from the middle, whereas tanks and healers try to pull off to the side a little bit.
Can we tab target the orbs?
Yes, but if you have to do that, you might be too late. The best thing might be to just run closest to them. Try to attack. Yes, you can tab target them, but again, you have to be moving toward them, right?
Right.
You could be whacking it from 30 meters away, but if you're not the closest one, it actually might not matter. They'll go to the nearest person. So DPS have double duty of playing interference for everybody else and getting those orbs, as well as burning Kephas. Another point about the breath. Use it defensive. It makes no sense to take that whole thing unmitigated. Healers, you're also going to be prioritizing that person who's named as your heal target. And then also tanks, make sure that you remember this is actually a threat ignore mechanic going on here. This is not a threat swap mechanic. This is not a threat drop mechanic. This is a threat ignore mechanic. What does that mean? It means when one of you is ignored and the boss ignores the other one, it means the first one will have its threat quote-unquote back. Okay? It is also possible that if you both get your threat ignored, it goes onto a DPS. So you need to make sure your tank swaps are still occurring, i.e. you taunt, even though you may have threat. Because again, you don't want to be left with, oops, it went to a DPS because you didn't taunt. You still want to make sure you're taunting. It's kind of following story mode in that respect, where when the one tank gets the lightning mechanic that you have to run into, the other tank should get it, but it's not a guarantee because it's an ignore on the first tank. So that's pretty much the entire first phase. We run around from pillar to pillar, make sure you use defensives. I'm actually going to spec into Saber Reflect because I believe it can be reflected. Something of a pro tip, especially like Commando. JItzel, I think you can use your Echoing Deterrence on that as well if your name is called.
Okay.
Second phase is very much like story mode, where we have the nanites, except there's going to be fairly rigid procedure that we have to follow in order to do this well. Unlike story mode where the nanites tickle, in here they will kill. And so what we want to do is, I'm not going to go through all the patterns, but I'm going to call out when we either have to wait or we actually click and we drop the column. So, as best as I can describe, when some of us get the nanites, only when we call it out, we're going to channel. And by that I mean everybody who has nanites channel at the same time. When we're all channeling, then any of us can break and take down the pillar. Ideally, the boss is near the pillar. Tanks, you need to be cognizant. Whoever has boss at this point, doesn't really matter. Bring the boss to the pillar so that those with nanites can channel. Those with nanites can channel as if giving the pillar its nanites. There's no other way to cleanse it. If you fail to channel in time, we can wipe, or rather you can die individually. We don't want to rush things such that, oh my god, whoever's there first just gets to channel. Because unlike in story mode, there is a time limit of how long you can channel. If you channel this super early, guess what? Everybody else has to follow and channel fairly quickly thereafter. Even if it's at the wrong time, we have to do that to cleanse ourselves, which sucks, but let's try not to do that. When the channels are interrupted by jumping, running away, whatever, the whole pillar comes down, thereby hitting the boss. Damage multiplier occurs. I think that's what it happens. For a brief second, and we keep burning boss. We keep repeating this until burn. During burn phase, dodge. Make sure we all dodge. Burn the boss. Boss is staying in place. and just again dodge, dodge, dodge. That's pretty much the name of the game there. There's nothing special about underneath them. I know a lot of groups like to stack underneath. There's no logic in that, with the exception of healing through it. But I don't think we can heal through it in veteran mode, just because it's just not going to work like that. The math doesn't work out. So, any questions on those three phases? The pre 50%, where it's breath, and get between the breath and the boss and the pole. The 50% to about, what is it, 15%, 10%? It's the nanites phase, jumping around the room, and then it's burn phase and just dodge all the crap on the ground.
Is there a wagon wheel mechanic too in the middle?
Oh, what?
A wagon wheel where he jumps in the middle and it spreads out.
Oh yeah, that's exactly from story mode as well. He jumps up, he's in his jetpack, he lands, and then there's a shockwave. Nobody should want to be in the red or the blue. If you have the red, try to move it out, and shouldn't really be a problem there. All the other mechanics from story mode will carry into here, except for those orbs and the breath.
All right.
And nanites are more lethal.
Pulling in 3, 2, 1.
Move the boss to a pillar. Hopefully it's one that glows soon. Just stay right there then. Just stay right there. Oh, take it from me. You gotta take it to the pillar guy. Whose name is it on? Nope, it's on me here. Sinks, get between boss and pillar. Raid wides, raid wide.
Right.
Let's pop them now, please. Somehow I'm grabbing threat and yep.
I am ignored.
Yep. You need to run into the lightning.
Oh, I see.
Who's the next name? Treccoli? Okay, offensive. Burn, burn, burn. There we go. Stay near the.
Oh my gosh.
I apparently have boss.
Yeah. Cool.
JItzel? Nobody should go in the. So this is where we're past 50%. This is the nanites phase. So we'll have 1 sec, and then don't channel. Do not channel. We're gonna wait for the second. Bring him over here, please. Need to come closer. Okay, let's channel, please. Everybody channel. Channel, please. And then break. Let's break it. Good. Mara Jade, you did not channel.
I kept clicking on it, wouldn't let me channel.
Okay, get to another pillar, please. Tanks need to move faster to the pillar. Mara Jade, yep, pooch.
I got nanite.
Let's channel, please.
Channeling.
Channel and Treccoli and break.
Man, let me channel. It's too slow.
Okay.
She's gonna have back acne face soon.
Go to the first pillar, please, or the second, either one. Channel immediately if you want, then break. Channel immediately and then break it over. Channel immediately, then.
It says you are not corrupted and you
Oh,
may
weird.
not.
Yeah, yeah.
Burn, please. And dodge.
We have no use for the tool that continues to break. Your purpose.
Okay.
There's weird little bugs.
A little chaotic there. So, even though that seems to be very easy, a few things to keep in mind. One, yep, there was a lot of I think I pulled quite a bit, and it's not. It's kind of weird. It's because of the threat ignore mechanic. It's
I
very
just
disturbing.
I didn't understand how to clear that. If I had understood how to clear that, it would have been better. I thought it was something that was automatically going to drop.
Gotcha. So, just like in story mode, there's a debuff that goes on you that makes you go really really fast. It's like you got really fast legs, and then there's a lightning pool on the ground. What you have to do as a tank is run into that lightning pool, cleanse yourself, and therefore removing that ignore debuff effectively on you. As that occurs, if you're slow on that, because the other tanks could get the same thing, right? If you're slow on that, it's possible that both tanks get ignored, and then that could be a problem.
Yeah.
So anytime you get that, anytime you see a lightning circle on the ground, everybody else needs to get away from it. Only the tank who had the ignore goes into it, and it cleanses it, and it gets rid of the circle. So it's quite fast paced like that, which is why it's like, oh my god, there's all sorts of stuff to do. So I was gonna propose let's take 5 minutes or so. Go bio, get something to drink or scream into a pillow, whatever you want. We'll so we'll go on break here, and yeah, well let's come right back in about 5.
Wow. You know what? I'm actually really excited for the new Green Bay Packers. I think I finally have moved on. It's gonna be a great season.
I begin not to love you. Turn around, see me running. After I loved you years ago.
I know
Okay,
that
I'm back.
each of us repeatedly
Sinks
deals with
and
concepts around
Jed, are you
free
back?
speech.
Yeah.
And who should be allowed to talk, not just who should we listen to as an expert, but
Jed, are you back? In the mean, Sinks, can you go to the TFP platforms post in the endgame content forum channel?
Yep.
Cool. That's weird. The preview isn't working.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know if it was just me.
One moment.
Oh, the website is like, I went to.
Yep, one
it's
moment.
like,
I didn't realize it was the link to that. Give me 2 seconds.
okay.
I thought I corrected that. Apparently not. Here. Oh, okay. Oh man, where is it? That's embarrassing. I don't know.
Nope.
Huh. I'll have to make that again. That's unfortunate. Anyway, it was gonna just go over some of the positions. Okay, yeah. If you want to go for anomalies there, that's fine. Jetta, are you back? Okay. I guess here's a ready check to see who's back. I'm kind of curious what we can go through really quick. Okay. So Vista's not back. And oh no, she is. Okay.
Vista is.
Just Jetta.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna split off left and right group based on our columns. Make sure that we burn the tentacles. Make sure the tentacles, if you're melee DPS or range, doesn't matter. You're right up on the butt of each tentacle. And tanks, make sure you're facing inward with those. They do have conals. And then healers, what you could do is you can somewhat line of sight the boss using that tentacle. This is something that you can also emulate in story mode. But let's say the tentacles on this DPS marker, healers could be all the way out here and not get slammed. So it's okay. Yeah, Jetta has something going on, so he'll be right back soon, I think. So
Okay.
anyways, line of sight using those tentacles if you're a healer. And also healers, you have a very important job of kiting out the spit. When the spit kind of lands you over here, just kind of move around inward a little bit. Just realize that the spit will most likely go on you. It is another proximity thing here, which is kind of neat. So, in addition to this, there are the ads coming in from the water. We want to make sure that we as DPS burn those fairly quickly. There's also the beacons. We can call them bacon. We want to burn the bacon. There's going to be bacon on left and right side in the middle. It's random on the first phase, or random on the third phase, but it'll always be in the middle in the second phase. And the other key point here is that we need to make sure we burn the tentacles evenly, so that they are killed within 10% of each other. Okay, what does this mean? It means if left side is 20% and right side's 8%, what do? We burn the 20% down all the way. Just literally just burn it. If it's possible to have everybody go on that side and nuke it, that's even better. But ideally, we don't waste time, and we just burn whatever one needs to come down a little bit more, such that when one is 0%, the other one is at most 10%. If we fail this, we'll have another phase out here, which is not what we want. I believe that bleeds into our enrage timer, so we do not want that. Tanks, make sure you call out on your respective sides. I think we'll have to remember to point that out to Jedi as well. Just call out his percentages. Around 50%, that's where you want to start. 50, 40, 30, 20, okay. When we get into the trippy phase, we will be splitting off into certain groups. So, for example, Hunter can be the hunter. She's going to help and hunt out the anomalies, which are giant orbs on the outer ring. Then I'm going to recommend that Jeddah take back left, and Sinks you take back right for the platforms. Does that make sense in terms of the platforms immediately surrounding the Terror? Like the one layer next to the Terror?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's like, there's 8 of them, right? North, south, east, west, and all the ordinal directions.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be on the back right, and you only want to go there, though, after the 7th hit. So it might sound really confusing, and maybe we'll go through this another time. But the recommendation is that tanks actually stand east-west platforms, hitting the boss a little bit, right? Making sure you have that threat and all that good stuff. You're going to get whacked 7 times, and as you're running to the boss, you'll actually maybe get hit with like some sort of weird circle thing. The Terra's burping on the tanks, I guess. So that also counts as a hit.
I'm back. Sorry for that.
Okay. So Jeddah, just as a reminder in the beginning here, call out your percentages for the tentacles because they need to die within 10% of each other.
Okay.
So, yep, when one's 0, the other one should be at most 10. Even then, that might actually have to be 9. But going into the trippy phase, Jeddah, unfortunately, the diagram I used to have is no longer there. I didn't realize it was actually referencing back to engine. But anyways, do you know that in the trippy phase, in the second phase of this, there are 8 platforms, north, south, east, west, and then their respective ordinal directions?
I do now.
Okay. Okay. The reason why this is very important is because the tanks can take different types of damage depending on which platform they are on. You want to actively tank the boss either east or west. Jed, I'm going to recommend you go to the left side, or when we go into there, it's going to be the west side. And then Sinks, you're going to go to the right or east side. And when we actively tank, we want to be on those east and west platforms nearest the boss. However, you're going to get hit 7 times, whether through a slam or if you're far away, like a little bubble floating through the air, like a burp. But this terror is going to hit you 7 times. And then after the 7th time you get hit, you want to go into your ordinal direction opposite of where the DPS are. Well, I should say opposite, but so on the first time, let's say it's Jeddah, you pull, you're going to be on the northwest platform, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to drop your spit there. And then that's a tank swap after the Scream. Scream will impact everybody on your platform, so make sure you jump back up to the west platform when your Scream occurs, and no DPS should be on the east or west platforms. DPS should always dodge north or south. Does everybody understand what I'm saying by that?
Mm-hmm.
When those platforms have those tentacles, we burn the tentacles. Make sure you're not burning the boss. Make sure you're burning the tentacle. When the tentacles slam, make sure you're off the platform and you dodge either to the north or south platform. Never east or west because you could get hit with Scream. But going back to the tanking, Jetta, as soon as you get Scream and you're on the western platform, hopefully there is no spit there. Unlike story mode where spit disappears kind of quickly, in veteran mode it lingers even longer. So it's very critical that you put the spit in the correct ordinal platforms. After Scream, during Scream, Sinks are going to taunt and do the same exact thing. You're going to get hit 7 times, jump to the northeast platform, throw the spit there, jump back to the east platform, get Scream, and then it's the next phase of transition where we have irregularities. Group on the ground, just try to communicate, disperse. It's okay that we kind of double up on a few of them, that's fine. Just disperse and get to your platforms. DPS who are not Hunter, we're going to be on the front left tentacle, so the southwest tentacle, and that platform, dodging south, and then we're going to go to southeast platform, dodging south again, and then we do the irregularities. Okay. Rinse and repeat, except now it's flipped north-south. So Jetta, you're going to take the boss again, but instead of jumping on after the 7th hit northwest, you're going to go southwest. Throw your spit to the southwest platform. Sinks, you grab it after that. Sinks, you're going to do the same exact thing. You're going to throw your spit to the southeast platform, right? Go back up to the east, get Scream there, and then we do irregularities. Do the whole thing again. Last phase, same as the first phase. After that, we don't have irregularities. We go straight into burn. Burn is where we all disperse, burn the boss, pop raid wides, and please coordinate and communicate your taunts. Ideally, one tank has a single taunt, then an AoE taunt. Then the other tank has a single taunt, then an AoE taunt. Then the first tank has a single taunt, then AoE taunt. It's harder to chain your taunts these days due to the, well, yeah, anyways. And then after 3%, boss goes away. So, any questions?
So during that burn phase, we need to make sure that like the boss is taunted.
Correct. And you are also not on a platform with others. DPS should also be responsible for dispersing from other DPS as well as tanks and healers. There is no cleanse in there, except it does get kind of trippy, and even though some healing abilities work, others will not. And as another special point about healers, make sure that you stay up in your home plate. I do recommend staying there. Oh, I almost forgot. Tanks, I would not recommend jumping down to get back to home plate. In order to cleanse your Scream debuff, which increases your damage taken by, I think it's 150 or 200%, so you need to cleanse it. You need to run all the way back to home plate, keep going back until your debuff disappears, and then come back to your respective platform, east or west platform. It is kind of a hike, and if you time it right, literally you're doing something the entire time. There really should be no downtime throughout this fight. But healers, you want to stay on home plate. And when it's time for us to all kill the irregularities, stop healing unless somebody's about to die. But stop healing, but please focus on DPSing your platform, the home plate platform. And I recommend going down, maybe to the left. Go to the left one or the one on the west side. Try to burn that one while the DPS help clean up. We all need to pitch in and help DPS the irregularities before timer runs out and they all start zapping us. I would recommend speccing into Reflex for that reason too.
Sorry,
And-
Iggy, you mentioned there was a hike for tanks. I kind of missed that.
Oh, what?
When you have the debuff that you get from the Scream, you have to like walk back to home plate or basically the entrance platform in the underland, whatever you want to call it, trippy space.
Okay. Got it.
Cool. Anything else?
Do it.
Do it. Okay, let's break up by our columns here. It's okay. Let's if we wipe, just get right back at it and we'll try it again. Things I recommend pointing a little bit closer to the boss.
70%.
56%.
Okay.
40%.
50.
Bacon, right?
30.
Lara's out.
35.
24.
Incoming pass.
25.
Dodge the larva. Is tank. Go.
Up.
Eleven.
Stop on right, burn left. Burn left. Oh, never mind. You guys are
No,
so.
no, no. Oh,
We're good. They went down.
okay. Cool.
Dodge. Everybody dodge. Yes, the tank don't touch those larvae.
Are DPS supposed to be killing the ones that are chasing me?
Yes,
Okay.
that does not change from story mode. Beacon middle. Oh, this is probably going to be a wipe over there. Run into the boss. Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't go through everything, obviously, because I mean, there's a lot to cover in here, but yeah, all the story mode stuff applies. If there are ads coming from the boss, then dodge them toward the water. If there's ads coming from the water, kill them before they touch the tank. Tanks, you guys are going to need to kite that a little bit into your respective corners if they do get toward you. It is on the DPS to make sure we kill them before they touch you. Is it the end of the world if they touch you? Not in veteran mode, but it's not good practice to let you get a massive hit.
Seemed to be like basically an instant wipe.
Any questions?
Nope.
So DPS, we position ourselves to kind of look towards the back on while attacking the tentacles to get a heads up when those ads are incoming.
Do you want me to call it out since I'm in the back?
If you want. Tank's gonna also call it too. I mean, everybody
Yeah.
can call it. Tanks are looking that way.
I'm happy to call it out.
Any questions?
Oops. Oh.
Here we go. Make sure DPS are within melee range of that tentacle. And healers are line of sighting using the tentacle.
I'm at 60.
65. Beacon.
Ads are up as well.
40.
33.
Oh, that's weird.
30.
23. At 9. Okay.
Okay, burn him.
Dodge.
That's
We're a little bit slow there.
Unstable.
You guys should be dodging as well. Tanks might want to guard their respective DPS. Bacon. Try not to leap to the boss, he'll get killed.
I know.
I only say that from
Have
experience.
Adds up.
Unstable coming towards me.
I am at 39%.
40. Ouch. Uh, 25.
14.
15.
Push.
12, 11, 10.
Okay, sub. You can just say sub when it's up.
Okay.
Dodge. We're gonna have to dodge these around. Everybody should be dodging from the boss. Charlemagne, oh. Somebody's gonna get an ad there. That's a problem.
$50.
45.
Adds up.
35.
39.
20.
20.
Sub.
12, so burn.
Yep.
MCS your face.
Here we
I
go.
just hope I
Whoever.
don't randomly die again.
Yeah, that's a platforming issue. Make sure to grab the boss immediately. You got a hit there, Jetta. Gotta dodge that. Make sure we're hitting the tentacle and not just the boss. All DPS should be on me except for Hunter. Okay, Anomaly's going out. Nope, I went through wrong. Ptolemain, are you? You need to be on my platform.
Haunted.
Oh.
Oh, I thought we were going on tentacles on by.
Nope. We're all going left to right. Anomaly's going. Dodge.
Screamed.
Creating another anomaly. We're going to transition soon thereafter.
I'm getting to them as fast as I can. It's just that they're like, they aren't. Oh,
Yep, I get it. I'll go to the back. Keep burning. We're gonna go to the back left, the northwest one as DPS. Remember to dodge north.
On it.
Slam, dodge. Dodge north.
Oh shoot. Not good at all.
That's one tentacle. Oh shit.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm still on cooldown.
You're good.
So am I.
Well, we have until one phase, I think, right? Jed, if you need a swap one.
I will need a swap now or after the stream.
Hopefully I can get up by...
Okay.
I got Terror.
Alright. I'm up.
Grab it. Grab it.
Grabbed.
Make sure you can AoE taunt too. There we go. Anomaly is being created as well. We're gonna transition here. Okay, we're transitioning. Get to your irregularities, please. Everybody needs to help. Middle. Yep, DPS, we're gonna go on the front left again, just like first phase. Remember to dodge to the south. Or from our perspective, counterclockwise. Creating anomaly. Slam, dodge.
Scream.
Slam. You guys got the hang of it. Good. Keep it up. Creating anomaly. Oh, we're in bird phase. Let's burn. Disperse.
Wait.
Who has taunts up? Please
I think it
communicate.
should.
Yeah, I got him.
Tell us when they
Tell
expire
me
too.
when
So
you're
that
out.
Yep.
I'm out.
Well, this is kind of a long burn. Oof. This is a long burn, guys. Oh shit.
Oof.
Ooh. I got him.
This is an 11% burn.
Mm.
If we survive this, I'll let us know
I
what.
still... On it.
Yeah.
Good, you got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can get it again now.
Okay.
And then I think I can get it again. Oh no, I'm just
Almost
gonna
here.
die.
I taunted. I have DCDs. I think we can do it.
to percent.
More shots. I'm out after this. Whew.
Okay.
And down the toilet bowl it goes.
It wasn't the cleanest, but I'm glad we finished it technically on time, because it is our time right now.
Yeah.
An explanation of what that is. We were up quite a bit. Usually there's, what, maybe 7% or so HP when we go to burn. It was either a combination of maybe accidental targeting of the boss. If we push boss, he'll actually get some health back, or it will get some health back. And it makes burn phase really long, like that. I think we went into burn at, what, like 15%, 16, 17? Which is like a 15% burn. Because it goes away at 3. Or we spread a lot. I know I was doing a whole lot of dot spread just per my normal rotation. Maybe that contributed. Another thing is tanks sometimes reflecting. You can reflect some scream. You really don't want to do that because you don't want to risk having exactly what we just saw, a really high burn. Either way, anytime there's more damage to the boss than to the tentacles, I should say not more, but if there is a lot of damage on the boss, it's possible that we push boss to a certain point, it heal back up, and it makes burn really, really difficult. So, but yeah, that was kind of fun. Looks like a lot of achievements there. So, congrats on those achievements, everybody.
5 achievements.
And I guess just think back, just a quick rerun. The first tentacles, we got to burn them at the same time. Kill the ads from the water. Dodge the ads from the boss. Healers can line of sight using the tentacles so they don't get randomly slammed. And they can basically kite around that spit that drops. Tanks face toward the boss and run away if the ads get a little close. We go into trippy phase. In fact, this is just my opinion. If Jetta and Sinks, you two want to look at the in-game content channel, I did happen to find the image there, and I put it there right now. So take a look at that. You can kind of see what I was trying to explain. But do you see those platforms where it has S's on it, like the green S's? That's where you want to put the spits. And then the T's are where you basically want to have the DPS DPS burn the tentacles. And we kind of flip-flop, right, with respect to north and south. And then there's a few things in there like, yeah, the point is there's some instructions in there. So
okay,
Nope,
zone,
that was exactly what I was doing, so well explained without the diagram.
Good. Any other questions?
That was fun. It was nice to do that one again after a long while.
Yeah. Well, congrats on the achievements, everybody. I'm really glad that everybody was able to make it tonight. Well done. I do think there's a lot of good stuff to be learned there. As always, if there's any more questions that you can think of after, please reach out, ask in our theory crafting channel. It's all open. And have yourselves a wonderful night. We'll end right here. So thanks all.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank
night,
you.
all.
Take care. Good night.
Take care.
Thank you.